call them a landmine. These are danger spots. The most important piece to understand reversals is the power. These are our signs and indications of the market can turn. If you do not trade like that money spot, you're gonna be too late. Reversals are very interesting things, right? So let's say you're in a downtrend. You're in a downtrend and then the market starts to pull back. Now, market starts to pull back. We have one of two things. Is that a pullback or is that a reversal? How do we know? So there's two types. Let's take a look. Now, you see the market in this particular case is the same thing as I was drawing. It's a downtrend, right? The markets are going down. And then this thing suddenly happens and we're sitting here like, is that a reversal or a pullback? So we need to understand that very carefully. Okay, so there's two types. So this is type number one. Type number one is a movement that can change the direction of the flow. Movement number two is if I take the same chart, go down to the 15 minutes, and I take a screenshot, which is one time frame lower now, right? And I'm looking at this as, okay, the markets were going up. For these buyers, something just happened, and they don't know if that's a reversal or a pullback. Is it not the same thing, right? Only difference is this one is going with the flow, and the one we did previously is going against the flow. Make sense? Okay. Now, in that sense, for these guys who are looking at this as, okay, well, here's a pullback. Pullback's coming in. Okay, rubber band man, right? Pullback's coming in, slows down, goes up again, cannot make any higher highs, goes down slowly, goes up again, no higher highs, goes down, but jumps right back up. He's fighting, no higher high again. And then he's doing this full looking rest. Full rest, which means a V formation just came in, which means the buy who cannot buy won't work, right? So we got a full V formation, but no signs yet as that the buyer is dead, because we're looking at this and we're like, what is that? Why is that so powerful? So in reversals, what is the most important piece? Okay, what is the most important piece? It's power. Yeah, the most important piece to understand reversals is the power. Always look left to right. Now, what does it mean left to right? You look at this and then you look at this. Can you tell me who's more powerful? Here's the important thing. If you have a movement like this in a downtrend, right? But then you have something like this going up. Who's stronger, the seller or the buyer? But then the seller, the distance of the seller is this big, but the distance of the buyer is only this big. How can my buyer be stronger? This is an important piece many people overlook. We talk about these areas, we call them landmines, which is these are danger spots. This is not your typical supply and demand stuff. This is something different. This is like a landmine because we're observing the difference between the buyers and the sellers. Now, as we observe them and we're like, okay, looks like the buyers and sellers are both just as strong. Now, in this process, you get a seller coming in, but not so strong. Buyer coming in, then seller coming in, not so strong. Buyer again, seller coming in, not so strong. Buyer again. Finally, after so much no higher highs, the seller finally comes in strong. However, reacts. Right now it's reacting. It's leaving a tail on the bottom. Now, what's a V formation supposed to be, right? This is an upside down V formation. What is the V formation supposed to tell us? Yeah, V formation means one of two things. This is very important. Okay, so I'm going to explain this very carefully. I'm going to discuss a little bit about it because this is very critical for reversal. Now, the markets are going up, okay? The markets are going up, but then a strong V formation happens. Now, it means two things. One, my buyer is dead, right? Okay, that's the way of looking at it from the rubber band man side. The buyers are dead. But two, the V formation represents our big boy, who is this guy. He's showing signs of coming back, right? These are the two things they're showing, right? But an important piece that gets overlooked always is before all of this can happen, did my buyer quit? Did he actually stop doing what he's doing? Let me explain what that means. Now, take a look at this. This buyer, how did he come up? He came up very strong, didn't he? He started from here and he ended up there. Now, when we have a V formation, our seller, of course, he's stronger than that guy, but he's very small compared to the buyer. But not only that, he's also having problems. He's getting a tail on the bottom, right? He's struggling. That means, is this guy still strong enough to push it back up? If yes, that means this V formation is not real. We cannot trust it yet. It means stand by. For multiple people, this means different things. Okay, for some people, For conservative traders, it means stand by. The sell will happen later. Maybe the price will come back up again, it'll do this, and then it'll do that, and then it'll go down. But for some people who are not conservative, they can look at this, for aggressive traders, they can look at this as, I don't trust it's a sell right now, which means this is a possible buy opportunity. This is a lot more aggressive, but it pays a lot. Anyone who's new, I wouldn't recommend going this route. I would recommend being on standby for the sell later. Because these things, because it's a downtrend, they will whipsaw before going. Okay, and we don't even know if it can make a higher high because it's a downtrend. So for aggressive traders who want to buy it, that becomes a little bit risky. So just have to keep an eye out for that.
Now, are you curious about the exact strategy Navin has been using to approach the markets? The Mastering Price Action course reveals all of that. In that course, you're going to understand the logic behind each price action movement. And from that, you will be able to take your trading to the next level by having a much more solid understanding of the markets. And because you're a subscriber, just click on the link in the description below to access our exclusive discount. Time to take your trading to the next level. All right, let's get back to the video.
So when we look at this back on the higher time frame, on the 1 hour, okay, when we're looking at this back on the higher time frame, so what's the clue that gives away that there is a problem? That thing, right? The power. Even though the power of this is quite big, it doesn't change the fact that that's quite powerful. Now, let me show you an example of this. Take a look at this here. Isn't this piece supposed to be a sell somewhere here? Let's dig deeper into it. Okay, let's dig deeper into this. Let me open up the 15-minute charts and I'll show you. Okay, this is one time frame lower. Here we are. Okay, I'll take a screenshot. Okay, let's take a look at this now on the 15. Now we have an arrow here that says that was supposed to be our sell because look at the pullback. We're getting a pullback. The rubber band man's running. He's resting. He's running again. He's resting, running again, resting, running again, and then a full rest. Isn't that supposed to be a sell after some kind of a test, either here or here? How come the price doesn't come all the way down to our recent lows? Okay, do you see that? Do you see how a strong up move can hold the ground? Yeah, the power is quite strong. Now let's take a look at this strong up move back onto the 60 again so you guys can see it. Okay, that same part, this part right here. Okay, and I'm going to explain to you what happens to the human mind at this stage. Now, when you're looking at this as a strong down move, would you say the sellers are strong? Yeah, they're pretty strong, right? But just as much as that, the buyers come in quite hot also. It's almost like they've come in instantly. Very aggressive too. This is a sign that even though on a lower time frame, you might say, oh, we're getting a pullback to do a sell. Even though we're getting a pullback to do a sell, I think there's something wrong in the pullback because the pullback's coming in too hot. Now, we have a few things to notice. Is the pullback going to be responsible for doing that? Or is the pullback going to try to do that, fail, and then crash? Okay? All right, let's try to understand this. Okay, so we're talking about reversals. Okay, there's two types of reversals. Okay, one reversal is that's going to change the direction of the down move. Okay, that's one type. The other type is if a down move is in play and then the pullback is like this, but then they do a strong V formation, and to those buyers, that's a reversal, which means the sell, it's now or never for them. Okay, this is basically the market slowing down on the way up, and then a reversal just kicking in for them. And they're sitting there like, what do I do, Bob? Is this a pullback or do I hit the sell, right? Aren't they confused, and all those buyers? Yeah, we can give it as many names as we want, head and shoulders and all that stuff, but we need to understand what it looks like, okay? It's not the design that matters. It's the power of the up move versus the down move, and you're comparing it left and right and being like, I think my big boy is back. If he's not back and the buyers are stronger, price will take you higher. So I'm going to explain first the easy one, okay? The easy one is, that's the downtrend. A slowdown is happening. Okay, as it goes higher and higher, people are looking to buy this. They're like, oh, support resistance, it must be a buy. Support resistance, it must be a buy. Support resistance, it must be a buy. And then very strong down move. But then the people who are buying, they're saying, yeah, but compared to this up move, this down move is only 15%. Is it a reversal or is it a pullback? That's the question they're asking themselves. And how do we know? It's the same question for a counter trend trader when a pullback starts to come in for us. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at this as, I'm gonna draw the pullback a little bit in more detail. So let's say this entire down move. Okay, let me draw it out on a smaller time frame now. So the down move is coming down on a smaller time frame. Here we are. Okay, looks quite okay. Then the buyers come in, and then suddenly How's the V formation? Now, this is the most important moment because for these buyers, they're like, it's just a pullback, buddy. It's just a pullback. We're going to keep going along, right? That's what it is for them. Yeah, so it does also look like a money spot. The V is here. This is the V. It's the upside down V right here. V's are signs and indications of the market can turn. So it's like an A or a V, yeah, upside down V. Okay. So in this process, we're like, oh, well, if that is a reversal for a smart buyer, he would say, kill the buys, prepare for sells. Because as a buyer, if I was to hide all this, let's say you guys are all buyers. Okay, you're all buyers. Would you think of selling at this stage so quickly? Let's say retail traders. No, it's like, why would I sell? It's going up. It makes no sense. And then it goes like this. Would you think of selling now? Yeah, but now it's too late. So the only place you can make a decision is up there. That's the only place you can make a decision. Does that make sense? Let's take a look at this. So we're back on the same smaller time frame and the sellers are coming in slowly, slowly, slowly. Okay, and then the buyer steps in. Now, it's smaller than the entire sell, but it's quite strong. So now, if I was to ask you, is this a sell or is this a buy? It can depend on multiple things. Let me explain. So let's say it goes up a little bit more like that, and then it does a V formation. Now, this is the decision-making spot, right? It's like, it's going to be a sell. It's got to be a sell according to the rubber band man, right? The buyers have just died. But are they really dead? That's the thing. Is that really my big boy coming back, or is that just a pullback for the buyers? That's an important thing to understand. Let me add one more piece to the puzzle. What if you had this piece? Oh, it's an uptrend. We just had a V formation this way. Mind blown. Confusion setting in. You can see you need a little bit more piece to the puzzle. You guys are really, really good to spot this right now, but you guys need to get a little bit more professional now and be like, okay, now that I know that the sellers are slowing down and then the buyers kicked in very aggressively, now for me to do my buy, I need to know that this is not just a pullback and sell, but it's actually a reversal to do a buy. So what are the clues? Now let's think about it. What gives you that clue that this is a reversal or a retracement? What's going to tell you that information? Okay, so the question is, what clue do we need to look for now to find out, well, what is it? Is it a buy or is it a sell? Because it can be either or. What we will know is what we call a test. Okay, what is this area right here? What is that area right there? Two things. You can call this support, okay? But if you want to make your life easier, don't call it support, just say that's a buyer. Okay, don't use the word support and resistance. That can cause you confusion. Just say that's the buyer, which means the buyer is going to cause problems. And the buyer looked pretty strong here. Not so strong, but he did something. Let's see what the buyer can do now that the price is here again. Let's see what the buyer can do. Your test is like this. Okay, this is very important. This test is the most critical part. Continue listening. Listen very carefully. He goes up slowly, testing and testing and testing, but he made it up this far. He made it up that far and we're like, huh? If the sell kicks in, then we're okay. If it doesn't kick in and it does this, it means this is the seller area and the sellers aren't doing anything. Make sense? In the 4-course bundle, we call these areas landmines, and we're seeing how much kaboom do you get when prices return to that area. If there is not much kaboom or not much kaboom, you know the landmine is cleared. Okay, so let's take a look at this situation here. On the daily, what are we seeing? I want to show you guys this area first, and then I want you guys to analyze the live market afterwards. First things first, when you see this down move, this is a pullback, isn't it? And that could be a pullback for a sell, because obviously we don't see the future. So our job is, oh, look, a pullback is coming in. It must be preparing for a sell. So you're looking at this as it's a seller's market. But as in a seller's market, we're looking for a pullback because we don't want to sell down here. We need a better price so we can sell it again, right? So we're like, okay, give me a pullback and I will sell it. Pullback starts to come in. Boom, rubber band man running. He rests 30%. Boom, he's running. Makes a new high, rest 20%. Boom, he's running, no higher high, cannot beat his own record, and then he rests 120%. So the rubber band man is dead. This is supposed to say it's a sell, correct? Now, this is why I want you guys to focus on the power. Now, the design tells you it's preparing for a sell again, but I want you to look at it in terms of power, because we don't see volume in Forex, right? Because we don't have real volume data in the Forex market, and they only have it in futures and other markets. So we have to make do with these beautiful chunky candles, right? So we're going to compare left to right and say, okay, let's see what's the deal here. The market was strong from here to here, and then it became chop central, like chop, 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 right? And then the market went upwards, which means they became aggressive here, slow down a bit, aggressive again, slow down a bit, aggressive again. Now these are all aggressive here, right? No signs of slowing down. However, a V formation is a V formation. So we were here saying this is buyer's area. This is seller's area. Okay, seller's area because this is the area where buyers could not break through and it reacted from. Not to mention, this area is a critical point where this seller started also. In this process, when the market goes back up, we're looking at, oh, let's see how, if the buyers are holding, let's see what the sellers are doing, because this is a V formation at the end of the day, isn't it? And if it is a V formation in the end of the day, we need a test. We need a test to see maybe it's going to be a sell. But we need to see if it's going to be a sell because we see the power of this up move. So we need a little bit more data. We're like, show me that it's going to be a sell. Sellers try once. Sellers try twice. Sellers try 3 times. All in this area for buyers. Nothing is happening. Buyers come in hard now. Very aggressive, right? Very aggressive buyers right there. And we're like, okay, looks like the sellers aren't performing as they're supposed to. Let's continue to watch. Buyers are getting a lot more aggressive. Now, this is supposed to be seller's area. Why is the buyers getting so aggressive and they're up in the seller's area right now? And we're trying to figure out like, well, what is he trying to do? So let's take a look more. And he finally breaks through. So now we're looking at this area as, I don't want to buy it here because I'm buying it at the seller area. I want to buy it on the other side, or I would like to take a risk and buy it from here, trusting that our buyers were very strong. Does that make sense? So let's take a look at this now. Now in this whole process, when you start to say, okay, I'm going to go for the buy because I no longer trust the V formation for a sell. Make sense? Now imagine if you were not thinking of a buy. Can you think of buys up here now, or is it too late? As soon as it breaks out, we can go for the buys, right? Okay, because the buyers were already too strong, but we're not going to buy here. That's too early. We need to know what happens. Are the sellers going to come back here? Maybe they come back once they gets up to there and it goes boom. So we don't know yet. But the sellers never came back. They tried and nothing happened. And then the buyers took over. Right? So those are our signs of like nothing, stand by, nothing, stand by, nothing, stand by. Oh, interesting. Buyers are back. And then one more candle outside, another candle outside, and then it takes off. So the question I wanted to ask you guys is, if you do not take a trade in the area we're discussing, which is the most important money spot area right there, where somebody's looking to sell and you're looking to buy, we don't know if we can buy up here for the next pullback. That's too high. That's where the public is looking at it, right? It's too late up there, all right? So this is an important piece to understand. Whether it's reversals or whether it's just a pullback, it is very critical to understand if you do not trade at that money spot, you're gonna be too late. Now, shall we do an example of a trade that runs normally? So we got this downtrend here. It's pretty strong, right? And then these buyers come in. Yeah, they're pretty strong as well, right? Pullback, buyer comes in again. Pullback, buyer still running. And then V formation. Does the sell happen? No, he tries to go higher because the buyers were way too strong, which is this area. Buyers happen, it gets above the sellers, which is this is the seller's area, but then instantly, boom, that buy never happened. Now we're in this money spot again. The same money spot we were in here, but we're still watching it. We're like, well, what's going on? Is it gonna fly high, or is our seller going to dominate? So the key is in this test. That is the golden key, okay? So when you're looking at this in this piece, you're like, okay, well, what's gonna happen here? It goes up again, very aggressively. Oh man, buyers are strong. Hits that area, comes down very aggressively. Oh man, sellers are strong. And then look at the buyer after that. Dead. Activate the sells or activate the sell. Up to you. Make sense? Yeah. So you have to use this knowledge to your benefit to look at it like, well, how do I know when it's a reversal? How do I know when it's a continuation? And weighing these two pieces of information is very, very important, because looking for the rubber band man and all that stuff, right? It's as simple as it sounds, but there is a little bit more to it. The V formation, it's as simple as it sounds, but there's more to it. All right, guys, so I will see you guys next time. Thank you, guys. Cheers.